right. Welcome to the Take Your Health Back Now podcast, first one of 2026, the best one, Justin says. We've got a guest today, one of our recently graduated clients, Justin Goff, and he's going to give us a little interview. We really enjoy having people on just to get that perspective from other people besides just me and Kendra talking at you all day. We are co-founders of the Take Your Health Back Now system and the Preventative Health Practitioner Training Program. If you don't know us, if you're new to us this year. All right, so thank you for joining us, and we're going to jump in.
Yeah, so welcome, Justin. Justin was nice enough to come on the podcast, first one of the year, which is exciting. We just want to hear his story. You know, we do these periodically, kind of a testimonial, if you will, just so that people know that there are answers out there and there's hope. Mm-hmm. And since we're really focusing on our PHP training, it's so that practitioners know that you can get results like this. So we just want to hear, Justin's story. So thank you for coming in. So kind of tell us what was happening. I mean, I know what was happening, but what was happening that led you to us to that point where you were finally desperate for help?
Well, I guess, I had to just kind of back up because, something I know and something you've taught me is that it's not just one thing. It's like a pile of things that lead to success or failure, right? And so, what led me to you guys was at the end of 2024, I was 240 pounds. My kids were like making reference to my gut. And so when the kids start to notice, it's like, okay, we got to do something about this. And so I had started just kind of going through the motions of, I don't know, the beginning of 25, I started going through the motions of no real life change, but, maybe some portion control. I might have been walking just a little bit. But we were in February, we were in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, February of 2025. We had earned a trip with the company we work for, and I had an appendicitis attack while I was there. No, and so anyway, my family went on the cruise. I went to the hospital at 48 at the time, 48 years old. First time I've ever been in a hospital. It was an awful experience, other than one cleaning lady who came in and really made the rest of my year. Other than her, it was an awful experience. I hated it didn't take me long to realize this place doesn't know much about health.
Right. Yeah.
And
hospitals are there to just keep you from dying.
Yeah.
And you're in an emergency situation.
Right. And so in my case, I had it wasn't like a chronic issue. It was an acute attack. I needed to see somebody, right? And so, however, looking back, I don't know. I'm not going to look back. But anyway, so I got the appendix removed. Again, horrible experience. So much so, like the surgeon gave me my bill on the back of a business card as they were wheeling me into surgery. And the nurse is like, "What did he just give you?" I said, "I'm pretty sure it's my bill." She's like, "You've got to be kidding me." I'm like, "I don't know. You work here. I don't want to be here." And so it was just several different things. And then as I left, because we don't rush to the doctor sort of people. We try to doctor at home as much as responsibly possible, right? And so I was in there for 3 days. And so most of my friends that have ever had anything like this, they're in and out in an afternoon.
Right.
And so I was in there for 3 days full of pain medication and antibiotics and anesthesia and all these different things. And when I left, I was just filled with anxiety. Like, it was very strange. I'm like, my body just did not respond well. And so I came home and in February, end of February, and then just started doing things and overdoing things I mean, movement, exercise, like I was doing all the things, but in my mind, it's like, well, if I should go walk a mile, I might as well run four. And that's just the way I've lived my life. And then symptoms started to show up about a month after surgery. I mean, anxiety, fear of death, panic attacks, numbness, tingling, sleeplessness. Like, I can't even name all of the issues. And so a doctor friend of mine just said, hey, you should go in and get an MRI. You might have brain cancer or a tumor. And I'm like, so I was talking to Megan about it, and we both, neither one of us had peace about it. And I'm not even saying I don't have brain cancer or a tumor. I might. I don't know. I'm just saying, like, we just didn't have peace about it, especially from the experience I had just had. And so we just started researching, praying, and functional medicine was something that kept coming up. And I don't know, I just did some research. I found you guys in Bloomington, which is about 2 hours away from us. And I talked to my mother-in-law who had heard good things about you guys. And so I just called and honestly, I was desperate. And I was honestly scared. I mean, we have 7 kids that range from 20 down to 5. And, you know, when you're in the midst of a health struggle, it's scary.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
Well, I was going to say, because when you came to us, it was like you were to the end of your rope, like desperate situation.
Yeah.
Being scared. You didn't know what was happening to you.
Yeah.
Very scary situation for you. Yeah.
And so like, you know, and so I reached out and so Megan and I went over to talk with Kendra. We met with Kendra. And Megan was just going with me and she's like, well, I'll do it with you. And then so, you know, we ended up doing the protocol together, which was awesome. It's always good to have accountability and someone to do something with, you know, and a teammate. And so that was how we started. But lots of fear, lots of anxiety, lots of unknowns. And not really, I guess one of the things is to give some hope to some people is that I really didn't know which direction to go. Because we've been told, oh, you go to the doctor all these years. And so there's been a lot of changes in my life since coming to you guys, but really the mindset shift of, okay, maybe I don't need to run to the hospital. Maybe I don't need to get put in this medical program or whatever. And so a lot of it was just unwiring, like rewiring, renewing my mind in light of health, in light of my own responsibility to take care of myself.
Right. And I just wanted to say that made me think of two things. First of all, when you were describing your symptoms, and you had other symptoms too. You had brain fog really bad. I remember you felt like you couldn't breathe, even though you could breathe. You know, there were a lot of things, and your pain was moving around your body, and the tingling was moving around your body. So what I was going to say was that you're a really good example of how chronic disease or chronic issues is so random and nothing seems to correlate. And, you know, you can't be pigeonholed into that one box of that one diagnosis. And that causes all kinds of anxiety and that type of thing that you're describing, because nothing seems to, like, you know, there is something majorly wrong with you, but nothing seems to correlate together. And then the other thing I was thinking is, and I think we've talked about this before too, how had your life, like you're coming down this path, you end up with us, and then, you know, here you are now, which obviously we're going to talk about. But imagine if you had gone the conventional route with all of that going on, where you would be now, the difference.
I tried actually, but before I came to you guys, I went to a like convenient care sort of a place because I'm like something is not right. And so what they wanted to do though was, well, we have to put you in the system, and so like you need to go talk to a primary care physician, and then they're going to refer you to whatever, and you just start that path,
Right.
Right.
which I wasn't necessarily opposed to because that's all I really knew.
Right.
Um, but what I was opposed to was this guy spent 3 minutes with me and then tried to not diagnose me necessarily, but move me in the direction of MS.
Right.
And
Right.
I'm like, no, you're not going to speak that over me. You
Right.
touched my foot. Like that's all you've done. Like
Yeah.
my masseuse knows my body more than you, right? And you just tried to diagnose me and put me in a box with MS. Maybe if I would have got tested, maybe that's what they would have said I had. I don't know. But I was just like, you know what? You're not speaking that over me. You're not sentencing my life to some
Right.
title that you don't have the authority to give me. And so, like,
Mm.
so it was after that, then we had several different options at that point, and then I went and called you guys.
Right. And
Yeah.
that's a really good example too of what happens to so many people. So the minute you hear MS, that's immediately what a scary thing.
Yeah.
Even have that out there, like you said,
Right.
speaking that over you. And so many people immediately then start down that path and they feel like they have it. And once you feel, it's that mindset thing too. Once you feel like you have it, you're probably going to go down that road
Right.
for the
Right.
likely. And you probably are right. You would have fit in that box just because of the symptoms you were
Yeah.
experiencing.
Sure.
And a diagnosis, whatever it is, whether it's MS or anything else, is just that collection of symptoms that do fit in a box, you know?
Right.
Right. And that's something that kind of drives me crazy. I'm just going to interject that here. Like,
Right.
people talk about like functional medicine or wellness approach, and they're like, oh, that's just woo woo. You guys just magically fix things. Like, literally, that guy touched your foot and said you had MS. And how is that different? Like,
Right.
he's like looking at a piece of paper. These things match. Woo, magic. Now you have this. Like, it's the same.
Yeah.
There's,
I'm not the same. But
Yeah. And I would argue not the same though. It's how do I have so much I could say. Like I could probably do 7 or 8 of these easy, and with as much
right.
as I've learned in the last year, but it's not the same. And
No, I'm saying like the magic. They think it's just
yeah,
magic. Like, if you're calling this magic, how is that not magic? Like,
right, right. So
yeah,
yeah, no, it just because someone has a collection of things on paper doesn't mean that they are all the same. Everybody's chemistry is unique, everybody's lifestyle is unique. And every time you get a diagnosis, you should be looking at what are the things that led up to that. You know, it doesn't just pop out of nowhere. It's like 3% of all disease that's just happens to people. All the rest, you have some control over how that happened and how to change it. But when you get a diagnosis like that in the conventional system, you're put on the same path as everyone else. We're going to cover up those symptoms. We're going to give you some medication to get through your day. We're not going to tell you why it happened. We're not going to tell you how to fix it. We're just going to see what we can do to cover it up on your day to day.
yeah,
manage the symptoms. That's always manage the symptoms.
yeah. Let's undo them. Like let's undo the symptoms.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to manage this thing. Let's beat it. And so yeah, that's just my mindset.
Right. Which is good. Which is
Yes. And unfortunately, usually it takes an acute something, like you said, you know, you had this terrible experience, you had this acute emergency, and then from there you started, you know, looking for answers.
Right.
But your wife, like you said, came along with you and then just said, hey, I'll do it with you. And she was feeling not acutely dysfunctional. You know, there were some things in her past, some things that had happened. But then going through the program and seeing the changes, I think you guys were both kind of shocked with how much she did have going on. It just hadn't manifested into that acute problem. So,
Right.
we want people to learn this lifestyle before they're in the hospital for 3 days with a bill on a business card.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And for all of you that, have followed us and know what we talk about, Justin is a good example of that threshold bucket that we always talk about. Your threshold bucket is filling up and you're not symptomatic until one more something comes in to cause you symptoms. And that when your appendix, did it rupture?
No.
Okay.
No.
But he had the appendicitis, and then that was that whatever came in, probably the stress of going on a trip, even though it can be exciting, it's still stress, just now he's got something. But clearly you had things going on probably for
Right.
building up to that point. But yes, our goal is always just prevention, living this lifestyle so that you prevent anything like this coming on. But our minds don't work that way as humans,
Right.
unfortunately. But so all of this happened. You finally made it to us, and then decided to go with us. And then, so kind of tell people your experience going through our program and the way we do things and how that was for you.
Yeah. So at first, mainly with the food, and the protocol or phase one. Um, a lot of these things I knew, like, but we were not doing them, right? And so as far as like starting with phase one, I kind of it's been a journey. So it was more like, okay, we have to do this thing, you know, and I've got to eat this. I can't eat I can't touch any of this, but I can eat this little amount here. Again, it's mindset. And so it's like, okay, I'm going to starve to death. And, you go through all these different emotions or whatever. Um, so we took off. Megan's way more disciplined than I am, and which is helpful and irritating at the same time. So, sometimes, but you know, we started off and we did really well, and the symptoms went away. And then, you go on a trip. We travel a lot, and then you relax, and then you start going back and eating the gluten and the fried food and the fake food and the oils and all the things that are everywhere we go out to eat. Um, and the symptoms come back.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like, you know what? I don't like have to do this thing. Like I really want to do this. Like,
yeah, and I was thinking that when you were talking, that was a really big mindset shift with you. I mean, it happens, we see this all the time, but
yeah,
definitely with you, where it was you started out, okay, I'm going to do this thing, I paid for it, I'm going to do this for 6 months. It was like, that's okay, I'm going to do it. But then
yeah.
all of a sudden there's like this shift where you were like, this is a lifestyle. I'm embracing this. And, in that whole mindset perspective, when you go from that to that, that's a big piece of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so now that's just part of, we just got back from a ski trip and we had an awesome time and I ate some things and then there's Christmas and there's New Year's and but still like it's not I don't know, it's just my mindset's changed on all this. So it's like and I didn't go too haywire either, but like now I go back to what I'm supposed to do. I go back to eating real food, and not that I totally dismissed eating real food while I was on my trip, but it's really hard if you're not in your own kitchen. It's possible, but it's really hard. And we could pack our own food, but there's like 11 of us that travel together, so it's like it would be a lot of, food. But now it's just like this is what I do.
And you rewire your brain to
Yeah.
crave those foods because,
Yeah.
food science makes your brain crave the more junky processed stuff. But once you've kind of cleared it out and your body realizes that you are going to give it all the nutrients it needs from these foods, it really does rewire and you want that. So then a lot of people like they'll travel or they'll have holidays and they're kind of surprised that like I used to love that and I looked forward to that kind of food and now I eat it and it's like, oh, I just want to go home and have a salad. Like,
Yeah. And I think, and just, um, again, we travel a lot, which is really great. I love traveling. But and I used to love to go out to eat, and I still enjoy the fellowship and the friendship and the community of going out and eating, and it's fun, all the things. But honestly, my favorite place to eat now is home. Like no, there's no restaurant that can offer me what our kitchen offers us
yes.
with herbs and with nutrition and just good quality food and all the things. So it's really my favorite place to eat.
Right.
It's home now.
Even that's a mindset piece.
Sure.
You embrace this. That is your favorite place to eat.
Yeah.
Whereas, some people would be like, I want to go out to eat all the time and I have to eat at home. That even is a mindset shift. And we talk about mindset all the time because that is the one thing. It doesn't matter if it's your business, your life, doing something like our program, getting healthy. Mindset is always the first piece of it. I mean, always, always.
Yeah.
Always. So yeah, that's a huge piece. And then what about for you? We're talking about mindset a lot and we're talking about nutrition.
Yeah.
A lot of times people get so focused on nutrition, but obviously nutrition is not all of what you've learned with us and what we do. Because really, like what Jenni said a while ago, it's your lifestyle, it's your diet, and it's your environment is what causes chronic issues. So you can feel better with treatments or supplements or, that type of thing. You can feel better and get the illusion you're better, but you literally can't restore your health and then prevent chronic symptoms without addressing your diet, lifestyle, environment.
Yeah.
For yourself. So we focus a lot on those things. So how is that for you? Were those new? I mean, was it something you didn't know about before?
As far as the mindset piece or just all of it?
No, more of the environment piece, like what is causing symptoms for people and then addressing that.
I think, and again, a lot of it I knew. Don't drink out of plastic. Don't, or whatever. EMFs, all the different things. Again, those things are things I knew, but when you don't have an issue, it's kind of like, it's not as important to you.
Affecting me.
Yeah. One thing I would say as far as your environment goes, and all those things are important, quality of water, quality of sleep, air quality, all those things are vital. I would say one of the biggest pieces for success as far as your environment goes is the words you're hearing and the words you're speaking.
Yeah.
I honestly think, the power of the tongue, there's life and death in the power of the tongue. And we can speak forth healing. We can speak forth disease. Like I honestly think that what we choose to say, and what we choose to listen to
and think,
right? And all those things are connected. Like, and sometimes there's thoughts that come. I have not, in almost 50 years now of life, the thought process of anything is and can be a battle.
Yeah.
Like you don't just wake up with just like positive all the time, perfect words and thoughts. Like it's a battleground. And so you can just lay down and let your thoughts run wild, or you can stop them. And and you can stop them by, I'm not thinking this way anymore, and start speaking truth and really taking captive your thoughts, because otherwise they'll go, who knows? Like it's the weirdest thing. I don't understand all of it, but I know that you have to do something about it.
Right. We talk about this all the time. It's your subconscious or your conscious,
Yeah.
your higher self, or you just more an ego centered area. And when you're in the subconscious ego area, your thoughts run wild, just like you said. And then that is creating your life and you have no control over it. You're like rushing down the river, just, or
Yeah.
you take control of it, like you said. And that's so true. And then that's when you start really creating your life. And, that goes for all aspects of your life, but definitely your health as well.
Yep.
Yeah. A lot of people have a hard time with that because we talk about, you have to have that positive mindset and that perspective. And they're like, well, you can't just talk about something being positive and it's going to happen. There's a process to it. Like you said, like your thoughts are going to come. Your brain is there to, keep you alive and notice strange things. And but it's how you react to it, how you control that. It's not like because you are, you have this perspective mindset or positive thinking that there's never a negative thought. That's not going to happen. It's how you take control of that, how you react to that, that is really key in making those changes and shifts for sure.
Yeah, I agree. I just think, it can be a battle, and you just choose to,
Yeah.
like, what words are we going to speak and what words are we going to listen to? I mean, we're
Mhm.
surrounded with such a negative, you're talking about environment, like the world we live in is a negative environment. And there's a lot of good things, but I mean, you really have to battle against it. And I think we speak to, we all, it took me till I was like 35 to realize everybody talks to themselves, like I'm not crazy. And so like, that was a real encouraging moment for me to realize, okay, this is normal. But I guess the question is, what are you saying to yourself?
Yeah.
What words are you choosing to speak? And so I have just different, some call them affirmations and things
Mhm.
that they speak over themselves, and those can be, I think those can be good and those can be bad, but like affirmations have to be rooted in some element of truth. I mean, just because I say I'm a trillionaire does not mean I'm a trillion. Like,
Right.
and so I think those have to be done carefully. And that's something I do more now than I have done in the past. And I do those regardless of how I feel,
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's important.
right? So it's like my feelings don't determine my affirmations or my words. I think it's the other way around. My words will drive my reality. The words I choose to speak and listen to will drive my feelings at some point. If they're rooted in some element of truth or reality, like,
Right.
there's just certain things I speak over myself on a regular basis now. And so, and it helps. It helps with the mindset piece. And so,
Well, and it's exactly what we were talking about just a second ago, whether you are mindfully, consciously saying the words like, I am healthy, I am wealthy, I am abundant, I am strong, I am fit, whatever it is, those are your words you're choosing for your life. And that is
yep,
the goal, that's the path you're on. Whereas if you're not thinking about it, the ego, all of a sudden your mind starts saying, I feel like crap. I am sick. What if I have MS? I have MS. Oh my God. I'm just gonna, and then people put like an age limit on themselves. Well, my
Yeah.
father died at 55. I'm going to die at 55. Well, look at the watch. I'm already 53, that kind of thing. So it's definitely,
right.
and it's interesting to watch that because the words, like you're saying, the people that are saying the subconscious words and the negative words,
Mhm.
that's where you're going. I mean, you literally,
Yeah,
and those people that are very consciously using their thoughts and their words to propel them in a different direction, that is where you're going. So that is
yeah,
a huge part of what we talk about. I mean, literally, we talk about this type of thing more than anything else. But
yeah,
it is the number one most important thing, and most programs in our space talk about nutrition, talk about exercise, talk about those things, and not nearly as much as we go into this. But it's key. But I know for you, the mindset shift was a huge
sure.
piece of it. Yeah.
Yeah, again, I just I go to battle with these things, and like my dad died at 60. And then you have these thoughts, like you're saying, of, well, what if I die at 60 or 55? And I had to stop those thoughts. Like, I'm not my dad.
Right.
And the other thing to think about with that, again, what we talked about before, it's 95% environment, diet, and lifestyle. So your dad had a certain life. He lived a
Right.
certain way. He ate a certain way. He thought a
Right.
certain way. And you grew up that way.
Right.
So if you had not stopped all of those things and chosen to do things differently,
Yep.
you probably would have gone down that road. I mean, that's why MS runs in families, or that's
Right.
the thing, it runs in families, is because you've had the same life. But that's why you have to address all of those environmental factors and change them. You address your diet and you change that, you address your mindset and you change that. And
Right.
that's how you change the course of your life and break those family patterns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's just, and it's something that I learned at the very beginning, and just going through um, your program is just you control the things you can control. And so, like, okay, so my dad died at 60. Okay, can I might die at 60. I might. I don't know. I might die at 50. I don't like, but what, but I'm going to make different decisions than he did the last 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years of his life.
Right.
And so I'm going to control those things. I'm not going to be ate up with bitterness and unforgiveness like he was. I'm not going to be an alcoholic like he was. I'm not, you know what I mean? And so it's like I can control that because I'm on a different path. Like God literally plucked me out of that path and put me on a different path 20 years ago. And so like we're not even the same sport. You know what I mean? Like it's not. And so like I'm going to control what I can control.
Yeah.
I'm going to speak these words of truth that I speak over my life every day. I'm going to hug my family as much as possible because that's even got great health benefits, right? And
Yeah.
to go on walks, and I'm going to try to help my sleep and all of these things that I can control. Like that's what I'm going to give an account for. And so I'm going to do good. As my shirt says, do good. And so I'm going to do good. I'm just going to do good. And even if, for people that are listening, okay, so let's say I did not go the diagnosis route, right? But maybe you did. And so, but like, so,
Right.
okay, so you have a title. Okay, great. So like, now what? Like
Yeah.
you still have to control what you can control, right? And so
Changes,
do
but
that.
decisions.
Huh?
I said, and make changes and decisions. I've seen
Yeah.
so much lately of,
Yeah.
whatever's the popular thing. So right now, peptides are the hot new thing, but everybody's talking, and I'm talking about practitioners in our space talking about, peptides and they make you healthy and, da, 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 da. Well, it doesn't matter what it is. I don't care what it is. If it's a treatment, anything, nothing is going to make you healthy unless you change what made you unhealthy in the first place.
That's right.
I mean, literally, that you have to do that.
Yeah. Like you said at the beginning, it's piles and piles and piles of things.
Right.
And there's some piles you don't have control over. So you can
Right.
acknowledge them and they're there. But there are things you do have control over. So as long as you're working on those things, mindfully aware of the choices you're making, you're creating this really strong foundation. So those piles of things we don't control aren't as big. They don't have as much of an effect because all of these other piles are nice and neat and tidy and good.
Yeah.
And the whole idea is to get your health, your body as healthy as possible,
Yeah.
so that your body can by itself eliminate as many toxins as possible, deal with what is out of our control. Because really this year, the 2025, it's just getting worse with what is out of our control. I know, and the stressors and the words and all the things and the chemicals and the biotechnology and all of this stuff that is so out of our control. But the whole idea is to work on everything you have control over, like you said, so that you can ride the wave and be successful and healthy. And I was just going to say before I forget that somebody last night I was talking to, they were talking about, well, and we hear this a lot. Well, the lifespan is longer now than it ever has been, but health span is not. I mean, people might be living with 1 foot in their casket longer. I mean, that's literally what it is. They're miserable, yeah. They feel terrible, they're so drugged up, but they're alive. But literally, do you want to be that? Or do you want to be the healthy version of yourself, feeling great? And like you were saying, maybe you're 56, feeling great, and you get hit by a bus. But you have felt great up till the end. Or you live till you're 103, right. And you're feeling great. I mean, that's the version we want you to be.
Yeah. But again, control what you can control. Don't step in front of the bus. Right? And I wasn't driving the bus, so I wasn't in charge of that. Wasn't my area of responsibility, right? And so it's like, do what you get. I mean, do the best you can. And I would say also for anybody, I mean, this isn't like a medication. So like a medication will just manage symptoms. It doesn't really fix anything. Right. And so this sort of, but real healing can take time, right? And I think that's important because you have to be committed to healing and the healing process, and the healing process can take time. Like, and so, there's a lot. I've had a lot of great. I've had a lot of over the last 10 months now, or no, 7 months since I came to you, since May, and so I've had a lot of great results. And so, and some of them have taken time. It takes time, but I think the cool thing is that the body is such an amazing creation. Like, it will heal on its own, even if you clot blood, your eye will blink if something's flying at it. Like if you have an injury, your body will overcompensate and just constantly try to heal itself. And how much more if we listen to the right words, how much more if we speak the right words over our body, how much more if we move our body, we eat the right things, all that, like how much more, like it's literally created to heal.
Right. And that's a really good, I mean, that is what chronic disease is when you have way more coming in to your body than your body can't keep up. So the whole idea is we don't treat anything. We don't, none of those. What we do is teach you how to, lighten that burden on your body and then step back, and the body will heal itself. And that's what the whole thing is. And if we didn't have all this bombarding us, we would be healthy, we just would. So that is what we do in a nutshell, actually, is just if anyone wants to be healthy, you have to address the interferences, and then the body can heal itself. The body's miraculous.
Yeah. And I'm still dealing with, I'm still addressing disruptors in my body. Like I'm not done. It's not like as I get older, it's probably going to be more, right? And so but I'm still addressing things. Like I have health goals for 2026 as far as alignment and working on my posture, and there's just, it's never ending, the health journey and the healing journey. And so especially when every aspect of our environment seems like it's trying to kill us or make us sick, right? And so it's a battle. It's a battle, and you just have to keep showing up and battle.
Yeah, we didn't really mention, sorry, Jenny, what were you going to say?
I was just going to say that's what we do. We give people the tools and the information they need so they can keep doing this. So then every time you have something out of your control that happens to you, or you have little setbacks, your body is able to get back to that place faster, or you have, your threshold is lower. So you're not having all these symptoms splash up. So yeah, it's ongoing. We kind of support an accountability for a short period of time until you've got those habits. And then that's the point where you keep going. So it's not, we work with people 3 months, 6 months, but it's not like you're done, like you're saying, you keep that going because your life isn't done. The stuff you don't have control over isn't done. You can't turn it off. So you have to keep up with it.
Right.
It's a lifestyle, which means for your life. But the timepiece, so what I was going to say is we talked about in the beginning the crazy symptoms you had coming to us, but we didn't really talk about where you are now with those symptoms. So most of your symptoms are gone.
I'd say most of them. I mean, there's some things come and go. Some days are better than others. Mindset, some days are better than others. Like, you know what I mean? And so it's a constant, you have to just keep showing up. But for the most part, I feel better now than I have, I mean, all year, I think. And so all last year. As far as symptoms go, I don't know. They're way less than they ever have been.
Right.
Does some things come back or pop up? Yeah, they do. And I've been able, for me, I think I've been able to trace a lot of it back to an alignment issue in my neck and back. And so I'm just working on that. And one thing I would say, as far as not just speaking um, like words of life over your body, which is very important, but also I would say listen to your body. And as you're thinking through or praying through or whatever, um, maybe health issues, uh, if something keeps coming up, like really consider that, because I know for me, a few 2 or 3 months ago, I was just like, I don't understand. Like I'm eating, I've eaten, more vegetables and fruit in 2025 than I have like my whole life, right? And so I'm like, but why are some of these things off? And you never know what it might be. It might be some sort of emotional trauma you're holding on to from 30 years ago, or it could be a skeletal alignment issue. It could be a lot of different things, or a root canal, or whatever. And so, but pay attention to what you're hearing, not just what you're saying, but what you're hearing, because I was starting to think, I think I have an alignment issue. And I was like, but probably not. And then talking with a couple different people, they're like looking at my physical body, they're like, you have a major alignment issue. Like,
I saw that when I first saw you.
yeah,
Interesting thing, the last
yeah,
time I saw you, which was right when he graduated just recently,
yeah.
the alignment issue was so much better.
Hmm.
So, structurally, then you probably have work to do on that. But the foundational piece has really improved that. And what you're talking about, listening to your body, that is so important. That's such a huge part of this. But when you are chronically ill, you can't even listen to your body.
Right.
Almost can't. And I know that, I think we talked about this at one point, where you finally get to the point where now you have so much more clarity as well. So you can actually be in tune with your body. You can listen to your body. Your clarity, maybe with your higher self, is much more clearer. We've had a lot of people tell us that. But when you feel terrible and your body is so sick, you can't. I mean, you have to get to that point, which you are now, and then plus that time piece to go forward and get better and better.
Yeah, I couldn't even think of people's names, like my neighbors' names.
Right.
Like I was like, and I'm like, okay. Then your brain goes to, okay, now I have MS on top of Alzheimer's, and like it just goes negative, right? And so you have to like, no, it's not the case. I'm probably detoxing, or I'm probably got a toxic overload or something, and just work through it. Right now I'm as sharp as I've been in all of 2025. Like my memory is back. I'm sharper. I'm able to think of people's names from like even 30, 40 years ago, um, which is pretty awesome. So, and then you have to start just encouraging yourself. Okay, you don't have Alzheimer's, at least currently or whatever, right? And so like you're okay. All the same things that my wife had been telling me all year. You're fine. Like,
Right.
but
Now you can actually listen to that.
yeah, but when you can't think of your neighbor's name,
Right.
it's like, what is like, there's a major problem here. And there was. And so, but you just have to work through it. And again, healing can be immediate, but healing typically, if you are taking responsibility for it, takes time. And
It does.
but
And
it's
then,
worth it.
if you think about, well, you worked with us for 6 months and now it's been about probably another month since you were working actively with us. Um, you still have you just got started,
Yeah.
and
Yep.
look how good you're feeling now. And you know, the time piece. And,
Oh
I
yeah.
talked about my own health journey before, years it took. And then constantly I feel better and better and better. But that's how it should be as we age. We should feel better and clearer and, whatever it is, rather than the other way. Biological aging versus chronological aging. That's where we
Right.
and I just had this other question while we were talking. So
Yeah.
now that you've worked with us,
Yeah.
you've experienced going through the program.
Mhm.
How do you think you would have done had you not worked with a person? Like, how do you think you would have done? Because we know that our program works. So you could have signed up, just done the program on your own. But from your own perspective, how important is that, working with another person, that accountability, that support, that type of thing? Like, would you have really done the program on your own, do you think, and stuck to it?
No, I'd probably be managing the symptoms of MS or something through the medical system.
Even though you had the knowledge? I mean, you could have done it on your own.
Yeah, for me, I do better. I do better with that sort of a program or system. Some people might be more disciplined or more of a self-starter than me, but for me, it was I could have talked to you more often. And so, but for me, I think it was a huge piece of success for sure. Yeah.
Right. And that's something that I just asked that because I think that's something that people forget. And I've noticed kind of a trend at the end of this last year and moving into this year. A trend is testing. And then even with AI will give you a program based on your testing and your data from your wearables. And now you can just go do it. But that's not the case. I think that the most important thing is having that human interaction.
Yeah.
And that accountability and that support. Like you and I talked once a week. We, texted back and forth, that kind of thing. So there is, and I think people forget how important that is to actually stick with something. You need a coach. You need somebody.
Yeah.
I don't want to say holding your hand, but there for you, supporting you.
I think, yeah, I just think just even having someone just be like, hey, like when I first started I was, I was scared to death, but you were just like, this is just someone reassuring you, like, hey, this is normal.
Right.
You're going to be fine. Like just those reassurances, I think are so critical. If you don't have those, you just have AI. I mean, there are great benefits to AI, but we, we've been created like human connection. You can't beat. Like you can't hug AI and have your hormones do good things like with a hug with AI. Like there's certain, or eye contact or someone just like, hey, I've been there.
Right.
AI's never been there. Like your computer has never been there. Like they've never been misdiagnosed or they've never been scared. They don't even know emotion. So having that human piece, I think is, if you don't have that, I don't think you'll be successful.
Yeah, I agree.
I think that a lot of people need to hear that piece because also people sometimes feel like they have to do it themselves. Like, oh, I'm a go-getter, I'm smart and I'm strong. I can just do this. Just give me the information. I can do it. And it's, when you're in that state where you just have so much going on and you're worried and you have anxiety and you have health symptoms and dysfunction, you're going to just keep hearing that. And you need someone to tell you, stop. You're not actively dying. There are things you can do. We are going to take control. We're going to turn things around. And I think that is really a key of what we do, because you could copy our information. You could take the information and the tools and put it somewhere else and try to do it yourself. But that human interaction, that accountability, that mentor is key.
And I think so. I think all these things, I think everybody probably, even in every system, has really good intentions, but like it's the medical system, again, if you have an acute issue, I think our system's emergency issue, I think they're great.
Yep.
As far as chronic issues, not good. And so the response to, and the people, again, most of them are probably well-intentioned people, but the system is broken. Like
Right.
the medical system is literally broken. So what do you do? Okay, well, just the response is AI.
I heard
Or
something the other day. This is funny. I didn't mean to
yeah,
cut you off, but I
yeah,
had forgotten about it till just now. I heard someone say the other day, the system is not broken. It's actually working just fine the way it was set up to work, which is true.
true.
'Cause
Actually, that's true.
yeah,
Yeah,
because I've always said that too. The system is broken. We say that all the time. But after I
yeah,
heard that, I'm like, yeah, you're right, because you know, it is designed to get you in the system
right,
and keep you sick or needing, you know, more care, more testing,
right.
or or not supplements, medication, whatever. So it actually works just fine. It's just,
That's true.
what we
It's a
do,
terrible system.
right?
Right.
In this
Yeah.
case, the whole idea is to get you healthy, get to where you are now, so that now you have the tools to continue on this path the rest of your life, and you don't need us, you don't need the
Mhm.
system, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to interject that because I really
No, it's
the other
true.
day when
In regards to healing, the system is broken, right? And so, like, so you have the response is, well, AI, because they'll understand more than. Because I even had people recently tell me, like, I was just at the hospital or doctor's office getting blood work or whatever done, and they're like, as I'm looking around, I'm thinking, do these people know anything about health? Like
Right.
if you're looking at their physical body, I'm like, I don't think they know anything about health. So you have AI as a response, which is supposed to be a faster fix all. Um, I think it's going to probably end up worse. And so, because someone has to program AI, and so, and but the encouraging thing out of all that is, I think this creates way more opportunity for people who really understand healing and for people who really want to help people. I think the opportunities are just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger as far as um, helping people.
right. Well, that's why we're really focusing on our preventive health practitioner
Yep.
certification, because the need is so great and the opportunity is now. And something that people should remember too is that, and actually that was even our case. So this system, well, Jenny and I had been doing this from an environmental piece for a long time, but like Dr. Duquette had been doing this for almost 20 years in his functional medicine practice.
Mm-hmm.
With testing first. The whole thing was testing, and then functional medicine is very personalized based on your testing, and we'll give you a personalized program for you. But what we found over the years is that that's not really true. You don't need the testing, because what is causing these symptoms for everyone across the board is the same. And so that's what our system is built on. So right now you hear about everybody needs testing. Well, okay, you got testing. What does that do for you? Nothing. It does nothing for you except for give you some interesting information, or these wearables that people are addicted to. Okay, well, what does all that information do for you? Nothing as far as your health,
I
So
think it raises your stress level.
It does.
Personally, I think from my own experience, like I threw my watches away because I'm constantly looking and constantly oh gosh, it dropped, my heart rate
Yeah.
or whatever. And like, so I just get rid of it. Like,
Yep. Yep, it's definitely a problem as far
Yeah.
as anxiety because your brain is looking for
Yeah.
threats. And now you've got data that says something's bad, something's bad, something's bad.
Right.
So you're going to focus on that.
And even
Exactly.
if it's not
Yeah,
bad, you're constantly looking. So it keeps you in that state of fight or flight.
Yeah.
all the time. Yeah,
What were you gonna say?
it's crazy. All right, so we've talked a really long time. I think all
Yeah.
three of us could do, like you said, we could
I
have
know.
several
Yeah.
episodes.
I was thinking about that because usually our testimonial interviews are
A
about
little shorter.
I'm like, oh no, Justin can talk like we can. So it'll probably
Yeah.
so
Yeah, so I think we are going to wrap. So appreciate everyone that's listened through to the end here. If anything has, resonated with you or reminds you of someone you know, friends, family, loved ones, make sure you share this with them so that they can, see themselves in Justin's journey, and maybe take those steps to get to where he is now. So, we're just trying to spread that information out there.
yes, definitely. So thank you, Justin, for taking this time out of your day and coming on.
Yep. Thank you guys. Appreciate everything.
No
Thank
problem.
you. Bye.
See ya.
Bye.